Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a nice Friday, a few weeks before Christmas. I'm here today to work with Louise. Hi, Louise.
Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining me here, Rachel. I'm very excited and also curious to know how this interview will pan out with Sarah.
Yeah,
so thank you to everyone for joining us at whatever point that is.
Well, I'm just clicking on Facebook and making this public so people can see it. There we go. And so yes, I have this beautiful gingerbread house behind me, made by my sister-in-law and her kids, and it's made out of real gingerbread. And me and my youngest son Benji, our first thoughts were, can we eat it? but that's not really. That's not really the thing that you're supposed to do. You light a little candle in it, and then it's like a little gingerbread house, and it makes the whole place smell of like gingerbread and spices and all Christmassy and lovely and everything. But I just wanted to have it there. It's so pretty. I might have to turn it round every now and then. And of course, to my other side, we have a Centre Master Sarah, and also on the wall behind me, all painted by the lovely Cheryl Rose Yambrack Hall. And so, yes, today, so Louise tells me she's had lots of nice questions. And yeah, we've done this before. We've done a channeling, which you can find on my YouTube channel. Today, we're going to do a little bit differently, because with each question, I'm going to tune into Sarah and see if she just wants to tell me the answer, because sometimes she just drops a load of stuff into my head, or whether she actually wants to channel. So there'll be a bit of channeling and a bit of her like telling me stuff and me talking about it. So we wanted to focus on the healing today, because we've been working with a rather lovely healing system, haven't we, Louise?
Yes, and getting some fabulous feedback as well. So yeah. What we'd like to do is to bring Sarah into that healing system and to integrate the two alongside all the questions that people have asked me to pose on their behalf. But I would also like to say, from my experience of interviewing Sarah last year, that sometimes I'd ask a question and the way in which it was delivered was in a slightly different way to perhaps what people were, myself included, were anticipating. So that's really we don't know either, do we? We don't know how Sarah is going to respond. Right. It's all going to be however it happens, and we just surrender to that experience and enjoy it. Yeah. And see what she says.
She kind of does her own thing. But we've been working with this healing system this year. I've been working with it all year, developing the initiations. Louise has been my guinea pig, and we've just practiced it on our first group of healers, and they have all loved it. But it's very new. And so basically we wanted to find out some more information about it. We just thought, well, why not? Why not do it like this? And then we get to share it with all of you as well. So I'll be bringing Sarah's energy in a moment. And I want you to just like really open up and connect with that energy, because Sarah's energy is profoundly healing, and it has a profound effect on our energy bodies. And also when I am directly channeling from her, it isn't just the words that I'm saying. Of course, you know, hopefully the words that I'm saying are useful, but it's also your own impressions that you get and the energy that you receive directly from her. That is just as important as what I'm actually saying. So don't discount any kind of intuitions or extra information you get at the same time. Really, really take notice of them as well.
It's almost like a multi-layered experience, and people might find that the information that's coming across here, they personally might receive something that's even a little bit different, which is right for them.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say nearly all my work is online these days. When I lived in the UK, I did a lot more in-person channeling and, you know, groups of people. Now it's pretty much always online. Now I live in Denmark, but it's still incredibly powerful, because, you know, time and space, we're all in the same time and space. So you know, it all works. But I do miss the physical people being there. So one day we'll get back to that. So where are we going to start, Louise?
First question is, would you like to just say a few words about who Sarah is? Because people are coming to this interview with different levels of knowledge, different experience of Sarah. And some people may not know very much about her at all. Yeah. And then we can move on to talk about the angels a little bit later on.
Brilliant. So yeah, so some people have been hearing me talk about Sarah for years, and other people, this could be your first time that you've come across her. So what we're going to do first is come into sacred space together. So if you would like to take a deep breath and close your eyes, as long as you're not driving or operating machinery in any way. And just find a moment of stillness as we imagine we're coming into a sacred circle together. And you can imagine that you're somewhere lovely in nature, or a temple, or a cave, or wherever you want to be. And just imagine that all the people listening now and in the future ahead, that we're standing in a beautiful circle, and each one of us is a divine light, divine spark of light. And then into the center of that circle, we call in Sarah, Ascended Master Sarah. And Sarah is the daughter of Mary Magdalene and the Master Jesus, or Yeshua, or whatever words you want to use. It's not important. You know who they are. You can feel their energies. And it's the same with Sarah, actually. It's more about tuning in to her essence and her presence. And that's why I'm calling her in this way. And Sarah comes into the center of the circle. And she's grounding us. She's grounding us. And Sarah is connected to all of the spheres. And by that, I mean, there is no vibration that Sarah cannot be in. She can be in any level of vibration, and that's quite unusual for an ascended master. Higher, lower, middle, she can be in all of them. She is the bridge, and her energy offers us integration. So just feel Sarah's presence, grounding. You could imagine her as a green energy. That's often how I see her. But you might see it in some other way. That's it. And she's just nice and present now, right in the middle of all of us. So I'm just going to tune into her. I do it on my right shoulder. She's sort of like she's sitting there. So if you see me going like that, it's because I'm sort of connecting in with her. I'm just going to ask her what she wants me to say about her. So the first thing that's coming is that she is an ascended master for the age of Aquarius. So she's like always been around, but sort of in the underlayers, if you like, or the subconscious. And it's only now that she's coming up into consciousness because she needs to. We need her. She has a lot of stuff to teach us. And that's one of the main things that we've worked with, the people who have connected with her through the work that I've done. It's about her connecting us with our higher self or our divine spark. And it's quite practical in a lot of ways, although, of course, there's a lot of esoteric excuse me, practices behind that. But she teaches us how to really connect to that higher self, make it part of ourself, so we integrate it, and then we live from that place. And it's about, creating the new earth or the new age or the golden age, or, whatever term you want to put on it, fifth dimension. She is incredibly useful ally, but she's very much someone who walks by our side. She's not here to tell us what to do. And this is why, one of the reasons why Louise said, you know, when you ask her a question, don't necessarily get the answer that she didn't answer it in the way that you thought she would, because she's here to act as a catalyst for us becoming our own master. So she empowers us. So the stuff she says, she tells us what we need to hear rather than what we want to hear. Very occasionally, she has told me, right, this on this day, but it's very, very unusual. Usually she gives me the keys for me to make my own decision, which I have to say has been quite annoying at times. But overall, I do really appreciate that, actually, because I don't really like being told what to do. I'm a bit of a rebel, and I think a lot of spiritual people are a bit like that as well. So she's very refreshing. She's very refreshing in that way. All right, let me just ask her again if there's anything else right now. All right, so she's saying, like, the healing work, we don't have a better word for it. Healing is the closest we can get to it. But it's about, we have a lot of work to do, as we know, with ascension downloads and ascension symptoms. We have a lot of, like, transformational shifts to go through with our energy bodies. And that is one of her main roles, is to help us through that shift. Because a lot of her, I mean, she's actually teaching us direct metaphysical techniques of how to, you know, deal with this stuff. And her healing system is very much involved in that. So did I miss out any basics there, Louise, you think we should add in?
There might be a few things I pick up perhaps with questions later on to come back to some of what you've said in the context of the questions that people have asked.
Yeah, but I love working with her. I love her energy. It's just beautiful. It's just, it's very grounded. It's very here. She's like very much in the etheric and very physically, like, around us when we call her in. Yes. So next question.
Yeah, okay. What can we learn about Sarah's angels generally? How many angels does Sarah have working or assisting her? Are we talking hundreds? Are we talking thousands? I'm just trying to get a sense of how vast the angelic realm are who work under her direction.
Yeah, because it's been a big part of the healing system that we're working with, and so that'll be lovely to see if she can, like, give us a little bit more. So I'll channel this directly from Sarah and see what she has to say. So I'll go quiet for a few moments, and then when I start talking again, it will be Sarah. Okay. Welcome, I am Sarah. My blessings are upon you. And as each of you listen to me on this day, or in the days and weeks and months and years ahead, perhaps you can start to sense or become aware that around my energy is another energy of the angelic realm. If you like, you can see this as a beautiful divine white light, whiter than white. It is through these angels that I can carry out my divine will. My divine will, of course, is in alignment with the divine, because I am at a level of advancement. That means from the place that I speak today, I am speaking with clarity and perspective. It is much more difficult when one is living in a human body down on the human earth to have such a clarity of perspective all of the time. And yet it can be achieved in moments throughout the day, as I'm sure many of you have experienced many times. The moment of clarity when looking in a pool of water, or hearing a breath of wind, or seeing a bird fly up in the sky. And with that moment comes a drop of information, a clarity or an insight. In the same way, when you work with oracle cards or runes or whatever healing tools you have, the same thing happens. It can also be that if you call upon my angels, which of course do not belong exclusively to me, I am but a representation of a divine archetypal force, one which seems complex at first, but is in essence what happens when you bring together the divine feminine and the divine masculine in oneness. Yet I have, at this time on earth, a more particular job, role, position, as it were, with very specific things to do. And the reason why I am mentioning this ability to see things clearly when one is not in a physical body upon the earth is because those angels that work with me can assist in bringing about that clarity. You have the understanding very close to you of your soul. You can tune in to that soul, and your soul has many, many life experiences and wisdoms that you can tap into just like that if you have the right catalyst around you. Calling upon my angels and imagining them in a horseshoe around you can give that perspective. Now, the angels that I work with exist as a collective. So trying to place a number on them doesn't really work. They are large, they are legion, they are many, but they are in oneness. However, you can, each of you, call for one particular angel to work with you should you wish. So there are as many angels as is needed at any one time. The number is infinite. I am Sarah, and these are the words that I wish to speak just now. Blessed be.
Wow, thank you. That was beautiful. It brought back memories of when I first remembered connecting to Sarah's angels, and I used to see them as like fairy lights when I closed my eyes and just see them scattered all around my third eye like little fairy lights. But Sarah had covered a lot of very interesting information there.
Yeah.
Didn't give us a number. Well, she kind of gave us a number, didn't she? But again, answered it from a different perspective.
It was sort of anywhere between 0 and infinity, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I will say the number 7 comes up with these angels very, very much. And there's something, but rather than that being a literal thing, it's more of like a vibrational quality of 7. But if you want to like put a horseshoe around them, because this is what I've done with the crystals that I've attuned, is I've got 7 of them and I put those around me. So if you wanted to like bring in a significance of number with the angels, 7 is the one to do. But see, this is a problem. Our minds want literal linear facts, and yet actually spirit don't really provide them. It's us that can interpret what they give us into linear facts as much as we can, but it's more our human brains that do that rather than that's what spirit provides for us. But we can all, it's always worth asking the question, isn't it? Because you always get something. You always get something that you need to know.
Yeah. Because I remember once hearing that Sarah had described her angels as like an army, and it was always just that word that stayed with me to try and find out more clarity about, well, how big was your army? It's as big as it needs to be.
Yeah, well, it's interesting she uses that word legion. She's used that before.
Yes.
Because I think that's often described to use like the opposite, sort of when people are talking about evil demons and things like that, So, but, getting onto that, Sarah is about integrating the light and the dark. Okay. What do you want to ask now?
Are you ready for the next question? Yeah. Okay. These are questions now talking about Sarah's healing angels, and really, what kind of healing can they assist us with? Can we literally ask for healing with anything? For example, healing finances, relationships, illnesses, even like personal issues, life changes, just to trying to get a sense of the vastness.
Because vastness is all very well, but then what do you do with it? All right then. All right, so let me just tune in and see. So that's interesting. So I have written a small book called Sarah's Little Book of Healing. And I wrote that a number of years ago before I got really specialized into the healing system that we've got now. And so we were working with her flame as it exists in oneness. And that flame as it exists in oneness is actually very useful for physical healing. Now, I used to be a nurse. I was trained as a psychiatric nurse in the UK. That means I'm only qualified to deal with mental health. But, I was obviously trained in kind of the legal medical system. And, we've been taught to be very careful about ever making claims about anything. And, I'm not making any claims here, but this is what Sarah has taught me over the years is to. So there's a picture on my website, rachelgoodwin.dk. There's a Sarah page. If you look on there, there's a painting of her flame that Cheryl painted. You can see it in the...
Do you mean this one here?
That one there. That one there.
I just...
Yeah.
There.
Now that flame, that is very, very good for physical healing. And she wanted me to mention that because she knows I wouldn't actually say that myself because I'm too legally trained not to. But I'm not a believer in any particular system of healing. I believe in, listening to your own intuition and doing what you're called to and what feels right for you, whether it's allopathic or alternative or, whatever it is. I think, we all should have the freedom to use everything at our disposal. But she particularly wanted me to mention that. So let me see what else, because this is a big subject. So there's just going to be little bits we're going to pull out here because, otherwise this could be a 3-hour lecture, basically. So let me just see what else she wants me to pull out. Yeah. So she's saying that working with her and the angels, and I suppose, she's also talking about the healing system that we've put together. It's particularly a healing system for the new age because it kind of is an antidote to all of our ills, if you like. When I say that, I don't mean disease. I mean energetically wise, all the things that we need to heal to become whole and move on to our next phase of evolution. So one of the things that I know I'm going a little bit off piste here again, Louise, but one of the things that she's talked to me about or given me information on is that all the seeds for the new earth, everything, it's all here on the earth already. It was always there right from the beginning. But what we don't have is the right conditions for everything to grow. And it's us bringing through our divinity from ourselves, bringing in the right conditions that makes those things grow. And these energies of working with Sarah and her angels, and also we haven't even touched on Sarah's violet flame. She has her own vibration of the violet flame, which is phenomenal and is a whole day's workshop all by itself. These things and the things she's teaching us and the way she's teaching us how to use them, they hold the antidotes to the modern age, basically. Yeah, that is which is a bit vast, isn't it? So let me just ask her to be a little bit more specific. So like if we call on Sarah and her angels to, because they are kind of a package. Of course, you can work with the angels, but Sarah is the one that actually then grounds and manifests that angelic energy. And again, that's her being this lovely bridge between different spheres and realms. But well, let me just get my train of thought back there. Yeah, so if we call on Sarah to ask us with prosperity, our prosperity, for example. Now, there is something as genuine divine abundance. However, there is a lot of things in our society that twists the money system and twists how we feel about abundance. And of course, it's difficult for us to see it because we live in this culture. So, I mean, I can remember like when The Secret came out, and, you know, I'm not knocking anybody who likes cars. All right. My dad loved cars. It was one of his great loves, but I have to use something as an example. I can remember when The Secret came out and it was like, oh, you can visualize getting a new car. And it's like, we have an idea that having the right house, the right car, the right job, the right husband, the right life, you know, and I know I'm really, really overgeneralizing here. I'm just saying there's a lot of things in our society that, so if we ask her to heal our prosperity, she will also heal anything within us that we have brought through from our family system or our cultural system. So that healing will go much, much more deeply. Does that make sense, Louise?
So for people, so for people that are new to Sarah and they want to like get involved with asking Sarah for healing, could you give us some idea of the first few steps? Where should they start?
Oh, that's a really good question. So let me ask her that. Oh, well, I'll channel her. It's easier.
Thank you.
Welcome, I am Sarah. Getting to know me and getting to know my energy, of course, is really simple. What do you do when you meet a new person? You get a sense of them, how you feel when you're with them. And you feel, do I like this person? Do I want to stay friends with them? How will my relationship work with them? And so it is with me. A very simple thing you can do is to call my presence in. And there are different ways that you could do this. You could get some special water from the sea or from a spring and place it in front of you. or a tree, or a leaf, or a flower. Take a part of those and have that in front of you. Or you could light a candle. Ask yourself, what would you like? What do I signify for you when you feel into my energy? When you take your awarenesses, your senses, what do I mean to you? And then pick that thing that means something to you, whether it is something from nature or something from the elements, or perhaps some beautiful piece of material. The possibilities are really endless. And then each time you want to call in my presence, have that thing there with you and start to get to know me. You could do this for a few minutes each day, and you could ask for healing. You could ask for some help with some matter that has been troubling you. The important thing is that you do it, little and often. And then our relationship will grow and deepen, and other inspirations will be put your way. My blessings are upon you. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be. Amen.
Thank you.
So I was seeing like quite a gentle, like little drop, 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 drop. And, you know, she does have quite a few different faces, you know. One of them is helping us connect with the divine love inside us. Really, really beautiful. It can also be connecting with the wild person inside us. Sarah has a very strong magical nature energy. So it could be like connecting to that wild, wise woman or wise man inside of ourselves. Can also be about really getting to grips with our emotional kind of shadow that needs to be integrated with our light, and making these things conscious. So she has quite a few different roles, and really you can only find out by just hello each day. Hi, Sarah. You know, and I always used to say, oh, you know, light a candle and that, because it is a really powerful way of bringing her in. But I'm also aware that these days we're more conscious about particles in the air and breathing difficulties. So, you know, a candle isn't necessarily always the way to go. But anything elemental, water, air, fire, earth, those things, it's great to go out into nature and connect with her.
Yeah. Find a tree. That's how I started to build up my friendship. It was very slow, actually, with Sarah. I'd work with her for a little while and then not work with her, and then come back and then have a break and then come back. So thank you very much for sharing that information. I'd like to know about distant healing. That was another question. How can we approach Sarah for assistance with distant healing, sending healing to others, or maybe even pets?
Well, I think that's where the angels are really, really useful, actually. So let me just check with her. So Sarah's angels are very much kind of her technicians, if you like. They're the ones that make things so. So she has, you know, her job to do. She's aligned with the divine will. So she has a divine will. This needs to happen. And, you know, the angels are the ones that kind of carry it out. So when it comes to healing or times of crisis or distress, they are very good to call on. So if it's you or your family, we have to really think about, you know, asking people's permission. So you can only really do this if you know people are happy for you to send them healing. But if they are, you can simply ask Sarah's angels. And again, like personally, I would just like a little candle and put it in my little, I got a little amethyst cave that I like, and I put a little candle in there and just ask Sarah's angels to, you know, maybe watch over somebody having an operation, or someone I know is having a hard time, or whatever. But I wouldn't go beyond like my sphere unless I've been specifically asked by spirit. And what I mean by that is, like, if I was watching the television and I saw there was terrible troubles somewhere in another country, I wouldn't ask Sarah's angels to go along and start doing healing with that. And the reason for that is, let me just see if Sarah can give me some good words for it. Okay, so as I said before, she's come here to offer very specific energies at this time. She has a very specific job role, and a lot of this is about our evolutionary process. So the people who are ready to work with Sarah are attracted to Sarah. That doesn't mean everybody in the whole human race is ready. And to be exposed to her energy too soon, and when I say her energy, I am including the angels in with her, because like I said, they come as one package. So you could be sending stuff that actually will do more harm than good, because it will bring up more stuff than that situation has the resources to deal with. So I only ever do like earth healing and stuff like that. Anything that's outside of my sphere of influence, which is like my family, my friends, my place where I live, my town. I only do something if I'm specifically asked to by spirit, and they say, right, you have to go, you know, we think this needs doing, go and do that.
Would a person need to say a phrase, for example, if they're doing distant healing, I'd like to send distant healing to, then name the person and say under grace, for example? Do they have to clarify?
Yeah, I mean, I always do that. I got taught that years ago, like, you know, can this person receive this under grace and in a perfect way and at the right level of healing for them? You know, it's always good to, you know, put a disclaimer on the end. So, but yeah.
Can we come back to an area that was covered a short while ago, to do with the planet? Is there anything we can do with Sarah's angels that is simple to help with healing trauma held in the land due to natural disasters, war, pain, arguments, torture, ancestral karma?
I can just feel this is quite a big thing we're getting into. Can you just see, has anybody written any comments or anything on what we've written so far? I can see Judith. That was 17 minutes ago. She received a similar message from the source dragon energies. Oh, there you go. You're just about to talk about dragons, aren't you? Obviously, the dragons are coming in.
Comments about it is getting permission, so we have the freedom to choose, setting intentions. They're the comments I can see so far. And hellos. Hello.
Who's saying hello?
Let's go back and have a look. There's 22 comments that are showing.
Oh, lovely.
Yes. Heidi Lynn.
Hello, Heidi.
Hello. Lizzie Hall.
Oh, brilliant. Hi, Lizzie.
Bright blessings and greetings. Heidi again, more Heidi. Sergio Valim, hello from Brazil.
Sergio.
And Belinda Birch saying hello, and she's enjoying watching with us. Tristan has given the number 22.
Power number, power builder. Yeah, I do think Sarah's really aligned with the number 22.
Yes. So there's I'm not seeing any further questions.
No, great. Yeah, it's really nice to see all of you tuning in. And I know a lot of you will be watching it later as well. But if you do have any questions, it doesn't have to be about this subject, because me and Louise were thinking we might do this like every now and then. If you write them in the comments, then we can take them the next time. If you have something, you know, you don't want us to you don't want us to miss. So, right, let me just take a little bit of water.
I think sometimes the more we learn from Sarah, the more we think, oh, I have another question. I have another question. And then before you know it, we have enough questions to come back and ask her more.
Well, I feel like the questions come up at the right time when they need to be answered, isn't it? They sort of come up in you and they're like burning, like, I would need to know this.
Need to know.
So I'm with you now. Start asking that question again.
Okay, yes, this is a request question. Is there anything we can do with Sarah's angels that is simple to help with healing trauma held in the land due to natural disasters, war, pain, arguments, torture, and ancestral karma?
Yeah, okay. So something's come to me straight away. Let me just check it. Yeah. So any place where we go to physically, we can apply healing salve, as it were. And what she's saying is to simply take some water. It can be water that you've collected from a natural water source, or it can just be tap water. It doesn't matter. Simply hold a bottle or a bowl and ask Sarah's angels to put healing into that water, and then take it around and sprinkle it onto that place. I would also, while I was doing that, visualize that I have Sarah's violet flame around me like a cloak, because it's a wonderful protection when you're doing earth healing. Sarah is involved a lot in earth healing work. I have a Thinkific school, which is a learning platform. And you can find a call on there that we did working with Sarah's Violet Flame Temple in Glastonbury in England. And that has got quite a lot of earth healing stuff on it. I also have a class, the Violet Flame class, Sarah's Violet Flame, and that gives a lot of techniques of working with Sarah's Violet Flame, because yes, the healing's needed, definitely, but 99% of it right now is the violet flame. Because we have to, it would be like if you wanted a wound to heal, you'd have to clean it first. You wouldn't leave it dirty. And that's what we're doing with the violet flame. We're going around cleaning it. And Sarah's, so there's a lot of different vibrations of the violet flame. Of course, you can always just ask for the violet flame. Fantastic, fabulous. Been working with it for years. I'm a violet flame junkie, but Sarah's violet flame is specific to working with us going to our next level of evolution. And that goes for the earth as well, because the earth and the wounds on the earth, they're generally caused by us. And that's why we have to clean them up. And that's part of our coming into our mastery. That's part of our learning of, like, we can learn how to clean these up. And, and then at the same time, we go, wow, spirit teach us stuff. The elementals all work with us, the angels, it's all in, this big cooperation thing. But at the end of it, we go, wow, look what happened, because I came along and did that. That is important, that we know that we have that ability to actually shift things on the planet. It's not true that we can't do anything. We can actually do a lot, especially when we work in groups, but we're only just learning how to do this en masse and powerfully. And Sarah is one of the ascended masters, one of the new ascended masters is coming in to teach us about all of this stuff. It's very...
I was actually going to ask you mentioned elementals, about people who like to work with the fairies and the tree spirits and so forth. How can we use Sarah and her angels to send healing to them? Does Sarah say anything about that?
Let me just tune in. Well, I've always found that elementals and nature spirits and fairies and the like, they very much have a mind of their own and know what they want themselves. But if you call on Sarah and her angels, or just call on Sarah because the angels will come with her, they're very good people to have with you when you want to work collaboratively with the elemental kingdoms, because she's very connected to their energies, and so they'll like you very much for having this. Sarah is, I mean, what stands behind Sarah is Sophia. And Sophia is the queen of the elementals, and of course, you know, we haven't even got into Mary Magdalene, but she's obviously all part of this as well. So yeah, I would, you know, if I wanted to do any healing work with the fairies and the elementals, I would tune into them and ask them what they wanted, because they always have, you know, something to say about that. Yeah.
Do you think Sarah would give any names of these healing angels? Because sometimes people find it useful to have a name and then they just call in the angel's name. Would that be possible?
Well, I mean, they exist as a collective. So if you call in an aspect of that, and it's like then having your own angel, then I think you can ask for signs and omens as to what that name might be. So I would think it's very individual to like each person. So the only name that I've been given is for Seraniel, who is like Sarah's great angel, and he is the keeper of the flame of divinity, which is our divine spark, but is also kind of the vibration of her angels. So yeah, I think there's not like a row of them with names. I think we have to really think of them as a oneness, and then when we need one of them, something comes that's just the right thing that we need. It's almost like you get something unique each time.
Thank you. Could you say a little bit more about how working with Sarah's angels differs in terms of the healing that people are perhaps more familiar with systems like angel Reiki?
Well, I don't know anything about angel Reiki, so I don't know what the difference would be. But I mean, I can put the question to Sarah, like, you know, what's special about your angels, kind of thing. Okay. So the first thing that I'm getting, it's that kind of like circle that's coming together, and I'm sort of seeing like their wings coming up and making a connection. And again, although they need her to make things manifest on the earth, it is a lot about integration. So like they have this ability of connecting up into highness for us, or through us, you could even say. And then we like bring down, like we've learned with the healing system, we bring down these higher, finer particles of light. And then Sarah helps us, you know, manifest that onto the earth plane with her energies. And there's a whole thing to do with the violet flame as well, because things need cleaning out of the way. But it applies to anything new earth, really. So anybody who is involved in like bringing through new energies or new systems for work, the way we live, the way we eat, the way we farm, they are going to be part of it. And the more conscious we are of them, and the more we can like bring them in, the more they can get involved. So they have this like magic of being able to take these things that aren't in our vibrational sphere yet on the material plane and help us like bring them down. And actually they do make it very easy, energetically wise, for this to happen. Of course, the real hard work is then at the physical end because, you know, things take time. You can't grow an oak tree in a second well, I mean, perhaps you can if you're Saint Germain, but you know, it's going to take us time to bring in all of these systems. But they are Sarah and her angels. They are very much the people to call on.
So if people already are working with different healing systems, I just want to reassure them in terms of getting an answer that they can also work with Sarah's healing system as well. There's not going to be any kind of possible issues with using two different systems and any potential conflict.
So years ago, I used to offer a chant service because I like doing chanting and I like using Sanskrit chants. I also use Hawaiian chants quite a lot. But the Sanskrit chants, I found that if I called in Sarah and then did the Sanskrit chant, which is often calling in like Ganesh or Lakshmi or the Durga or whoever, her energy just like blended with it beautifully and actually like amplified it. So it's that thing again about like Sarah is in all of the spheres. She complements things beautifully. I've never found anything that she sort of bangs up against. She's useful in kind of every situation. So whatever, like, you know, even like whatever, even, you know, any religion, you could sort of put her, of course, the people in those religion might not agree, but the energies in any religion, you can put her in it and it works, you know. It's just, yeah. It's really amazing.
That was actually going to be my next question, is any simple mantras apart from using the word Sarah's name that people could then use to add to
there's that one I got
energy.
years ago. And so, you know, Sarah just sort of appeared in my life very surprisingly in about 2005. And at the time I had been told start chanting, and I was a bit like, really? All right. And I tried it and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And that book I always recommend, Thomas Ashley Farrand. I started using that and I was just trying different chants, this chant, that chant, playing around with it. And then this chant just started going around my head. It's when I used to live in Surrey. It was just there. It was just Om Shri Sariye Narayani Namostute. And it's on my YouTube channel, YouTube/Rachel Goodwin. It's on there. It's very easy to learn. Brings her in just beautifully. And it means salutations, Om and salutations to Sarah, the threefold. Bring us blessings, threefold flame, bring us blessings down upon us. And yeah, I mean, you don't, if you don't like singing or chanting, you can speak it, or you could just sit and listen to it. I mean, you know, yeah.
Might be worth sharing that again, so that people who are interested can.
Yeah, it's
be more familiar with it.
YouTube/Rachel Goodwin. And if you look on the playlists, there is a playlist that's just for chants. And it's on there, Om Shri Sariye. So that's Sarayi, which is kind of a Sanskrit way of calling her, if you like. Yeah. And there's a whole thing about the threefold flame that's to do with Narayani and Narayana. And I won't go into it now. It's too long. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's great stuff. Yeah.
Well, they were the questions that people had presented. I'll just have a look and see if there's any more feedback for us from the group.
Wow. Well, we've gone over time. I was going to say, oh, that was quick. That was only about half an hour. And we've actually gone over time. Oh, so Lorraine is saying here, Lorraine Mitchell, my experience with the energies I work with is they merge beautifully with whatever system I work with. Yeah, that's it. And Judith, what are your thoughts on the galactic beings coming in at this time? Ah, that's interesting. I paint with spirit and angelics come through and many others. The galactics and the cosmic beings are coming in more recently and have been bringing in the violet flame. So Sarah has a really cosmic aspect, and that's been sort of showing itself again more recently. Let me just ask her about that. And then at the end, I'll just quickly channel anything she wanted to say that we didn't get to. So I think this is something that is going to come out more. So like with the work that I've been doing with her, it's very much about the earth, healing the earth, taking us to our next evolutionary level. Now I have done some channelings from her where she's part of a, let me see if I can remember the way they put it. Oh, I can't remember, but like a star elder council.
It's a special council, because it was actually an area I wanted to come back and interview you again about, because I think more and more people would be very interested in knowing about this area, which at the moment I know very little about myself.
So, you know, people who work with people who are star seeds and work with galactic energies, really try calling on Sarah, because recently there's been quite a few little clues and they've all been pointing towards, I know I don't think I say this right, but the Pleiades, how do you say it, Louise? Pleiades. All right then. I think people just say it differently, don't they? And then
and spell it differently,
right,
as well.
I always just assume whatever I'm saying is wrong. But she has a strong connection to the Pleiades. I don't think that's the only one. There's a lot of connections there with Venus as well, and I think that's a kind of the Christ family thing. But more is going to be coming. I'm having people, I'm doing channelings for people, and they are getting messages about, you need to work with her galactically. And it's quite a different energy, and yet she just holds all this together. I think she's an amazing ascended master to work with for the new age, for all of us, because her energy is coming up from the collective unconscious and it's coming into us. You know, we already have this energy inside of us. It's just about us birthing it, basically, and that's what we're doing. So let me just see if there's anything else Sarah wants to say to us. So every year at Christmas, that period between Christmas and the New Year, and even up to Epiphany, actually, I don't know if Epiphany was something in the pagan days. That's on the 16th of January, but it also seems to stretch right up to there. But if you don't have enough time for that, just between Christmas and the New Year, there's some very special like energies that come in, and connecting to Sarah is one way of doing it. And I've just started putting together, so I do some light language from her and the angels sometimes, and it's amazing at carrying like the codes in, like the healing codes in, and I've just started putting something together. So if you're interested in that, that will be on, you know, make sure you're on the Healing Circle, or I have a newsletter that I send out. It's on rachelgoodwin.dk at the bottom of the page. Or, you know, I always share things on Facebook. I know things just disappear on Facebook. So the newsletter is really the best way of like hearing about these things, because I'll be sending out a very, you know, easy to use meditation with these light language things on and stuff about the practices over Christmas. And I'll just ask her if there's a last bit she wants me to channel. The healing course, we're starting a new healing course in January. There's an event on Ascended Master Sarah. There's 3 levels. There's the attunement to it's an initiation into the angelic healing, the angelic light. There's an initiation into Sarah's violet flame, and there's an initiation into Sarah's energy. And those 3 things give you the ability to like work with your higher self and bring it down physically and manifest it, and also other people's. And it is just beautiful. So if you're interested in working with that, write to me. Me and Louise are doing a free healing thing Sunday night, aren't we, on this group? So if you want to come and experience a group healing, come along to that. There isn't one next month because I'm going to actually do like a Zoom call for ancestral healing with using Sarah's healing system, because she connects us back to the original purity of it, as well as doing the clearing and the healing. There's a lot of power in our ancestral lines that we need to start aligning ourselves back up to, which is sort of aligned to the divine source. It's all very exciting. What else? Is there anything else? Is there anything else I should mention?
I just wanted to run. I had a few things. You've talked about your 2 Facebook groups, Sarah's Healing Circle and Sarah's Sacred Circle. Also, this book. I have to say, this is. I remember my first love, really, with Sarah when I started to read it as a Kindle, and I used to just read it over and over again. And I was delighted that it's available on Amazon.
That's got a lot of stuff in there about her. Like, if you want to know what she's about, that you know, it's got it's in there. So,
and if you have the Kindle like I did, it actually extends. There's actually extra chapters, so it's new information from when I first got my Kindle. Also, you have some Facebook pages: Ascension Pathway with Ascended Master Sarah and the Ascended Master Sarah page. You've talked about your email as well to send up. How would you like people who might be interested in getting on your mailing list? How would you like them to get in touch with you?
There's a sign up. There's a sign up on the rachelgoodwin.dk, because I'm in Denmark, so it's .dk. If you go to the bottom of the Sarah page, there's a sign up for the newsletter on there. You can just sign up for it, basically. Yeah, but I'm doing an Ascension Pathway that I'm creating with Sarah on Patreon, and you know, that is going to get much deeper into things next year. And we're doing Earth stuff, and the fun and excitement never ends, does it, Louise?
I was also going to add, in terms of fun, is your Etsy shop, where people, if they want to know more about the services that you offer, they can also go to your Etsy shop.
And the healing stuff and that, I haven't got it on my website yet, but I'll be doing that in January, getting it done by January, hopefully.
And your Etsy shop, if people are interested, or they want to maybe do some early Christmas shopping or buy gifts for other people, is Sarah Yay. They go to Etsy and they just type in Sarah Yay, SARAYEI. Is that correct? And then that will take them to your Etsy shop.
Okay. Thank you, Louise.
And thank you. I'm feeling here now. I'm hoping that I can ask to come back and got so many more questions.
Well, let me just give the last few minutes to Sarah then. See what she wants to bring through. Welcome, I am Sarah. Indeed, we are entering into the time of Christmas, or the winter solstice. There are many challenges around this time of year. Weather-wise in the Northern Hemisphere. Stress-wise for many people around Christmas, around family, around material things. And yet there is also this opportunity of creating moments of stillness. Imagine now that one of these moments of stillness is starting to appear. Perhaps you could see it as a bubble or a spark of light somewhere inside of you, maybe in your heart center. And imagine with each breath it glows a little brighter. And imagine that the way you feel inside can perhaps not be linked to anything that is going on around you, but instead to the divine spark inside of yourself, the piece of you that is always the divine, always divine truth, always divine peace. Breathe into this part of yourself. Know that it is you, even as your earthly personality is also you in all of its delicious imperfections and wonderfulness. Your divine spark has come here to love all of you, all of the things that you are, no matter how imperfect you might judge them to be. And so it is at Christmas or the winter solstice. At this time of year, there are special challenges. Also, because of this year's events, you also all have many, many special challenges. But this place inside yourself, which you can reach more easily by calling in my presence. I am a bridge. I am a connector. I am a catalyst. Just imagine it's there, this beautiful spark of divine light. Breathe it in. Breathe it out into your body. Accept its gifts of love and divine peace. And know that all is well, all is well, all is well. Repeat this to yourself often, especially when things in the outer world seem to be anything but all is well, all is well, all is well. Call on my angels whenever you have need. Call on me when you need some support, some insight, when you need to know what is real and what is unreal. I will be there. I am Sarah, and my blessings are upon you each and every moment of your day. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be. Amen.
Thank you so much, Lady Sarah, and your angels, and Rachel, and all the people that have joined us at whatever point that will be, and all the people that have submitted questions to make this possible. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Blessings. Yeah.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Until next time.
I hope you have a lovely Christmas. I know it's a few weeks away, but we all know those few weeks are going to go fast. Bye for now, everyone. Lots of love.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you all.
Bye.
Thank you.